And welcome to a brand new vlog here, guys, from Hamburg. I have just arrived and look at this weather. It's almost Christmas now. It's like snowstorm. But yeah, I have just arrived Hamburg. I was waking up really early this morning from Copenhagen. It was like 4 AM, so I am completely wasted right now. I have 5 meetings. And I will also show you around Hamburg, because what's really interesting about Hamburg especially is that this city here is not so old, because it was bombed after Second World War. So what you see around here, like the buildings around, these buildings are probably only like 50 to 60 years old, even though the city has managed to build all this up in like 50 to 60 years, which is amazing. There is of course also some older buildings which we'll look closer into, and then I will just show you around, because I mean this is the first time I am in Hamburg, and for that reason it's also really interesting for me to see this city. So that's it, and then the last part of the vlog I will do some reflections from the meetings, and then I will also have a little talk about how to invest in the company, because if you want to use your money if you have a really good revenue in your company and you want to use extra money on Rolex watches, cars, blah blah blah, instead of investing it in your company, then we have to go through that, because that's really interesting for me right now at the moment, because I want to have a higher salary in some way, but on the other hand I also want to use those money to invest in the company so it can grow even further. And that's something that I have of thoughts right now. Maybe you can use my thoughts for something, I don't know, but that will be also including in the last part of this vlog. So without further ado, let's start this vlog with some meetings. So until now, really good meetings, and I will now have to go to the third meeting. The third meeting is a bit longer distance. I have to drive for like half an hour or something like that, so I will probably have to take a taxi right now, because there's not really any trains nearby. So let's just head for the next meeting. Right, so now we are ready for the next meeting. Just wanted to show you this car over here, the smart car. You know, the owners are always parking like that, and it's actually quite smart, so you save a lot of space. Anyway guys, we are ready for the next meeting here. It will be with Juan, and he's a lighting designer, and hopefully this meeting will be really good. So fingers crossed. Ooh. That was a long road. Hello. That was a really good meeting. I have a good feeling about that company, and also it was some really professional lighting designers. I also went to the website before I went to the meeting. It's always a good idea. Right now we will hit for the next meeting, which is the second last meeting, and then it should be pretty much it for today. Until now, really good meetings, and I can be really thankful to have a colleague like Michael right now, because he has been in charge of all these meetings here. But without further ado, let's just go for the next meeting. One thing that Germans are really known for is the supermarkets. The supermarkets is filled with organic stuff. You have like thousands of different products. And this one here is only with organic foods, called Biomarkt. This is something that we really have to learn, especially in Denmark. We have a lot of supermarkets there, but there is not like totally focused on healthy eating. But this one here, there is products I have never seen before, which is quite nice. These guys over there just took a selfie of me for the thumbnail for this video, so hopefully they will be able to send it to me in about 2 days, and then you will see the thumbnail, which is quite good, with the view of this one that I have in my backside. Enough with that, I will now have the last meeting for today, and I'm about to get a little bit exhausted, but what you have to see right now is that the weather is completely changed. I went here in the morning and it was like totally snowstorm, but right now look at the sky. Completely blue sky, which is great. And that's good, because now we have to go to the sightseeing after this meeting, and then I will show you around here in Hamburg. So with that being said, now we go to the last meeting and then we have some sightseeing. Actually, some lighting designers, they like it to be, they like to see the videos, because they can see, okay, what's going on in the company and so on. And then when I come to the meetings, sometimes they already feel that they know me, because they have seen the videos. And then the meeting will just be relaxed in some way, because they know me and I don't know them, but I'm a really open-minded person in general. So it helps in some way that when you're showing the videos to people, they can see what's going on in the company, and they can have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of thoughts who we are, and then they maybe can feel it like, these guys are pretty good.
It's a moral way of get connected. I don't know. It's not so strict.
And that was the last meeting here in Hamburg. I now got some time to show you around in Hamburg. You can see in my face right now that the sun is just about to go down, which is quite nice, because then we will have a lot of really nice shoots. So nothing more to say than let's hit for the sightseeing tour. The last attraction I want to show you guys is just inside here. It is Indra Club, and what is really great to mention about this place here, it is one of the first places that the Beatles was performing. I mean, it's quite interesting, right? So you have like a club which is almost like 60 years old, and Beatles were just inside here. Beatles, die Bühne des Indra. Es war ihr erstes Deutschland-Engagement und der Beginn einer großen Karriere. Which means that this was actually the place where Beatles had its, it was where Beatles really went famous after this concert inside here. So that's quite interesting. What's also worth to mention, and that's something that Hamburg is really well known for, is that this district that I am in right now is like red light district in Netherlands. And if you do not know what that is, then I can tell you that it's a lot about playing halls, it's a lot about girls, and it's a lot about different things, clubbing and so on. I want to do the outro here because it's about to get late, as I mentioned, and I also have to read for my flight. So I was promising you to go just short over about how to invest in the company instead of just use the money. This is something that I'm really thinking a lot about right now these days, because in some way I want to buy some nice things for myself, and on the other way I'm also like, you know, why should I do that right now? Why not invest it in the company so the company can grow even further? And this is something that it's really important to understand, that of course you should have some extra things which could give you some luxury as an entrepreneur, but on the other side is also to find the balance. So just pushing a lot of money out of the company without any investment in the company for marketing, and that could be different things like new employees and so on, is also a bad thing. If I will look closer to that one. So what I do right now, maybe you can use that for something in your business as well, is that I'm trying to find out, okay, how is the budget right now? You look into the budget and find out if there is like a really high increase in the revenue, then you can maybe talk with your controller or talk with yourself if you only are yourself in the company, rather you will be able to have some extra money for a specific need. That could be a new car, that could be a Rolex as I mentioned in the beginning, and so on. But what I would like to point out here is that, you know, more things will not necessarily make you more happy, and this is something that can sound a little bit cliche, but on the other side it's also really true. So this is something that you really have to think about. From my point of view, I'm really glad if I just have like few things, because a lot of things is really just fucked up, to be honest, and it's not really working, and it's just, you know, of course having a nice car, having a nice place to live and things like that is fine, but having less things is better for me. Of course, if you have a need of more things, then it's all good, but it's just, you know, making life simpler is maybe something that we will see much more in the future, instead of just keep on buying things and things and things, right? So with that being said, I think we are pretty much finished with this Hamburg trip here. It was quite interesting for me also to see Hamburg, and I can recommend just to go around and look at the city. It's great, and it's also, it seems like people are really nice here. Though one thing that I want to point out in the last part here is that there is still a language barrier. So if you want to communicate a lot with Germans and so on, it's not all who are good for like communicating in English, and this is something that you have to consider if you want to go to German with your company. Maybe it's better to employ some sort of like agent or something who is fluent in German, because then they can do the job, instead of that you have to go through in English. Though it was okay for me, there was no problem, but still it's something that you have to consider if you want to make like real business in Germany. Then try to maybe arrange something with an agent or something like that. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will now head for the airport where I have a flight for Copenhagen. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, there's a subscription button down below, and you can just click that, and then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please give it a like, that will be awesome. And nothing more to say than see you next time. Bye.